Hi guys, Scatlink here. Welcome to my modding showcasing sub-series, Hats Off to You, a series of which we try out community-created hats, costumes, functions, singular levels, full chapters, or time rifts created by the Hat in Time fan community via the Steam Workshop. This will also include any challenge roads of which will have their own video dedicated to earning ourselves a trophy, of which would otherwise be permanently missed. No rest for the never weary, even though, you know, that could be considered a thing last year. We have a challenge road that we are well overdue, because it came out on July 7th, when the update for repeating mods from event map level 2 and onwards for summer 2025 was pushed on July 4th. So, literally 3 days after, we have this. A 3-stage challenge road, which is basically Mario Galaxy themed once again. They just can't seem to get away from that famous platforming mascot, now could they? But I am not playing as Mario for this. I need to stay as Hat Kid, and you'll see why. Now, this is actually, once again, just to add even more to basically making this about, what, 15 videos, or 16 with a bonus, that I need to do after this, because the next challenge road comes out on August 4th of 2025. So we already know that we've got a 66th challenge road coming up. Oh my lord. So there's just more to go through. But first of all, I want to cover the fact that Space Rock Galaxy, I'm not going to count the mod timepiece / mod rift token upon going through the challenge road and then getting it off screen, because I need to actually play the level off screen to get to more of the level. It kind of like Farewell, it ends prematurely if within a challenge road, so I need to... That's the reason why we got a part 2, if that makes any sense. Space Rock Galaxy would be nice if all this would disappear out of the way. While on her way home, Hat Kid's spaceship gets heavily damaged. Usually a timepiece would take care of that, but unfortunately there are not any around. What, you can't just use anything from your massive vault? Guess we'll have to look for an alternative. Things that you'll need: the hookshot badge, projectile badge. Not necessarily for the challenge road, but after the fact. The no bonk badge, not required, but it can help in some instances. You would want it on. Trust. Preferably not using a playable character mod. This might cause some issues with the level. I mean, ironically enough, it may be easier using DJ Grooves with the rocket. I'd highly recommend, as long as it doesn't break. And again, we'll get to that. I'm staying as normal Hat Kid for this, because we're actually looking at a costume change right here. I'm not even lying to you. Even though it looks like it's just the space helmet flare that you can get in the game for time stop. Not necessarily the case. There's one mission and one optional secret mission. It is recommended to do the main mission first. I'm just going to say right now, even though it says it's recommended, you can't get to the second secret mission unless you do the main mission first anyway. It's basically impossible. Well, not necessarily if you can fly, like with the wing cap, which is a thing that you potentially have, but it's not intended for you to go for it until you do what you need to do. There was also a total of 4 stickers hidden throughout this mod. Try to find them all, and it doesn't make mention of it, but there's also 2 Riv tokens as well. But you can only get 2 of the 4 stickers within the challenge road. So again, the part 2 will include the second half of the level, both mod timepiece / mod rift tokens, because I'll have to play it again out of the challenge road anyway to get to that point. So yes, that will be the part 2, and we will do 2 rift spins for this particular part 2, because not only would that be 1, 2, 3, 4 mod timepiece / mod rift tokens, there was 2 to find in Space Rock Galaxy, there's also 2 in the Honeycomb Platforms Rift. Submitted for the Hat in Time Discord Modding Jam's theme of space, explore a low gravity time rift in space with strange honeycomb shaped platforms that become solid whenever an orb is hit. Just like the Pink Fluffy Clouds Rift, which I'm guessing Poppy Parade did make as well, this mod also features original models that they made in Blender. They originally wanted to make this a chapter mod, where you're sneaking into a honeycomb base run by a bunch of space bees, but then they tried to make it 2D, and then eventually decided to just make it an ordinary rift due to time constraints. Sorry about that cut. I had to go to the mouse again. This was the first modding jam I took part in and enjoy making this level a lot. And this is a pretty fun one. So when we get there, that'll be pretty trippy. It's also very bright. In fact, there's also a lot of bright lights in Space Rock as well. So I just want to make mention of that. But Fruit Asteroid Field doesn't have any collectibles. It is just going back into with the mouse again. I'd do it for every single one of these. By Terratorn, Hack Kid has stumbled across an asteroid field where she wanders aimlessly across space for whatever reason, and one of the asteroids hits the spaceship exhaust during the encounter, somehow. Sometime after, Hack Kid starts a scan to scavenge for any replacement parts, which conveniently detects a crashed UFO not long from her location. She then gears up and goes outside to scavenge parts from the crashed UFO. Ironically enough, that blurb is kind of instruction manual stuff that doesn't actually get conveyed in the level. Made for the Space Jam of 2021, Fruit Asteroid Field is their first actual platforming level. The 8-ball doesn't count. The 8-ball frenzy thing from Splatoon 2's Urchin Underpass? Perhaps? It involves a lot of dweller fruit platforming alongside low gravity and angular spring jumping, plus a brand new enemy encounter that they've been thinking of making. Music is Space Fantasy by On Super Galaxy. The ice hat is required. They hate raccoons. Alright, sorry for that cut. I just went back into Space Rock Galaxy for a second. There is actually no credit option, interestingly enough. Oh, and by the way, this is basically the thumbnail for when you load it outside of the challenge road. But again, we'll get into that in the part 2 once we earn the trophy, because of course, that's time sensitive. So let's load in, because I've still got my work cut out for me, because it never ends. You know, that sounds like a bit of a backhanded comment, but it would be nice. Attention! In the kitchen! What's going on in here? Were we just finishing a meal? Warning! Spaceship's been struck by a meteor. Journey cannot continue until the boosters have been fixed. Require status report. That sounds serious. Maybe I should go take a look. Sounds like it came from the back left side of the ship. It should be safe to just exit through the front window door. What? What about the vacuum of space, Hack Kid? Sounds a bit silly if you ask me. Yeah, it's kind of funny actually, because this is like a watered down version of the hub. Like the ladder's not here, for example. That's a bit weird. Timepieces are just all over the place. I'm guessing this is, I don't know, the end game version of the map that they used as a base. Because there's nothing to interact with in here. But the party machine is still here, and you can interact with it. Which I'm not going to turn on. I don't know how that would break this level. Not too sure how a rock got into the mail room. That engine room's blocked off. Going down below is also blocked off. Which is funny, actually, because if you turn the camera in a particular way... I can't seem to get it, but you can actually see that that is just a wall that's been placed in the way. The lift is not going to the attic. Check our bedroom in a second. Oh, there we go. This still works. No seat. And what happened to my roof roulette? Which, by the way, obviously coming straight off the heels of the entirety of the Summer 2024-5 summer event. I have all 46 tokens. I know the last episode I had 45, but of course I had to go get the mod riff token / mod timepiece from every boss at once. I did that off screen after finishing recording. You should go grab your space exploration gear first. What do you mean? Where's that? Well, let's go to our closet. Windows are blackened out. Is it in here? Not swimmable. And we can't get in here either. Everything seems to be blocked off right now. Ah! Hello there. I see you. I don't think you're actually supposed to be able to see through this window, but I'll get into that in a second. For now, though, all my posters are gone. My desk's bedside cabinet is missing. Not even a pawn in my chest. I've been ripped off. Hello, jetpack. That'll be useful. Hey! I've reverted to my normal costume, but with the helmet, Space Explorer gear. But my hat flares are still equipable, and I have a jetpack. The Space Pack 3000. If I'm to access my flares real quick... Where are you? There you are! The Time Stop Hat Space Helmet. Yeah, it's a helmet within a helmet. It just gives us a little radio hat. It's separate. If I were to scroll all the way down here, it has actually become a costume that we've permanently unlocked. Which is pretty awesome, to be fair, because that's something I was not expecting. I thought it was going to be like a limited time thing, similar to how you get the badges temporarily. Like with the delivery scooter badge. But no, you get to keep it. So that's just a costume we get to keep. Which is pretty nifty. Now, how do we use the jetpack? Or is it just cosmetic? Well, in this level it has a function. But we'll get into that in a second. But now that we actually have our exploration gear. Which, by the way, you'll have to keep grabbing every time you redo the level. But it won't be added multiple times into your inventory. So no worries there. We're grabbing star bits, and they have the sound effect. They have replaced our pawns, our jetpacks are active. And then we are floaty, because of our jetpack is constantly spewing. Outside of this gravity bubble around Hat Kid's ship. Oh, hello there, there's a token up there. Let's go get that real quick. Well, that was easy. 1 out of 2. It's on top of the mail room's roof. Which, by the way, the outside of this ship, as we know, the outside of Hat Kid's ship does not actually match what the inside looks like. This has been kind of enlarged to match to a certain extent. This is the damage. Yikes! This isn't good. Looks like we ain't leaving this place soon. Finding timepieces to fix this isn't an option around here. Maybe there's some kind of alternative? That's a launch star! You're not being subtle at all. The music, the collectibles, even the assets. Yeah, that's not a pleasant, rock. So yeah, it's a little bit odd, but it kind of actually works for this particular layout. It's probably what it should look like, to be fair, because, I mean, that's the lobby inside. Also, do not touch the launch star. You will be locked in without any input from you. Oh, and slipping is going to become a thing. And yes, I do have the no bonk badge on, so that is going to be a bit of an issue. But before we continue, there is a sticker here. Sneaky. But it's not a camera badge sticker. That's just the default if it can't load it. If it doesn't have the default texture thing. It's an animated GIF, which cannot actually be displayed, so that's why it defaults to the camera badge icon. It's petting like a frog sniff it thing. I don't actually know what this is, but it is the petting meme. Doesn't do anything, but it does leave a mark. Alrighty. Oh, someone else left it here as well. Winter. I missed a star bit. Grabbing all the star bits doesn't do anything. In fact, there's not that many in this level. They're mostly at the start, just as a little reference thing. So, that's all there is on the ship. Let's go find something to repair it. I've left the gravity bubble. Toad!
Oh! Fellow space explorer!
Who are you?
I'm Toad! I'm part of the Toad Brigade Space Explorers. We're currently about the Mushroom Kingdom, our home.
Really? I gotta get a better look around the surrounding area.
You're not from around here, are you?
Can you help me?
Help you? Repair your ship? We aren't exactly talented
mechanicians? I think that's a typo. You're supposed to see either mechanics or engineers.
But I know what might help you. Have you heard of power stars? They're able to do all kinds of magical things. I wouldn't be surprised if they were also able to repair your ship. You're lucky that there might be one around here, actually. We came here looking for some ourselves, but we can't let you have... I'm sure we can let you have one.
I read that wrong, sorry.
Sadly, I can't tell you exactly where it is. You're going to have to figure that out for yourselves. They're yellow and bright, with black eyes similar to ours. There's no way you can miss it. Well, that's really all the help we can give you. Good luck!
I tell you, that voice does a number on me, but I am committed. Right, so we've got panels on clouds. What do they do? Let's go press them all. Yeah, no really any rhyme or reason as to doing this. Like, they're not, like, connected by cables or anything. They're all wirelessly scattered. On clouds as well, to boot. Also, while platforming around on these asteroids... Oh boy. I might be vaulting and climbing on the edges of them right now. Maybe even wall climbing. But in certain instances, when it seems like it's a flat enough surface for you to stand on, you will just slip and fall. And apparently on earlier iterations of this very map... Oh, like that, I almost fell. Apparently there were no checkpoints at all, so... Yeah, you can see the Mushroom Kingdom down below with the stars there. But you've also got, like, this weird electrical current of a nebula. Some planets up in the sky. And, you know, it goes a lot higher than this. But you would have to do this entire level without falling, and that was a nightmare, so some checkpoints were added, but that wasn't recently. That was quite, I think, a couple of years ago. So this is kind of an oldish map. And yeah, none of these mods actually appear in the summer event, so... And not even mistakenly having the tag. Which is interesting, because, again, I mentioned the Mafia Boss 3D having that problem, where it was erroneously having the tag, but it wasn't last year in 2024, but in 2025 it was actually featured. And I believe Jonas and Star Shoals confirmed that. I've already given my special thanks, so... I don't have all the details at the moment. Whee! Let's slap that. I've also tried reaching out to Epic Yoshi Master on the official Hat in Time Discord. I don't... Well, I checked before starting, so I don't know if I have a reply yet. But I did actually query about what is happening with the level compilation mod, because I have said many a time throughout these videos, it would be nice if it could actually be updated, but I think they're so far behind, they're not too sure on what the Death Challenge roads actually are. But I do, so I can provide all my thumbnails and just let you know they're in reverse order up to a point, because even the Hat in Time official Twitter/X also pointed that out in particular. So yeah, with these rings going around these planets, which don't have gravity by the way, for some reason you kind of move the opposite way to the rings themselves, and I am moving because you can see that notification slowly getting away from me. But what I want to do is double jump lunge up. Not on the planet, I guess? Okay. Yep, that I should have wall climbed there, but I didn't. Instead, I slipped and fell. And when you're in that, like, slipping animation, you can't get out of it. Which is really annoying. There we are. I'll just stretch out the jump instead. What I want to do is stretch out a double jump lunge onto this rocket to reach this panel over here. Which I believe is the last one. That it be! So yeah, even though it's Super Mario Galaxy themed, the planets don't really act like that. Everything is just a static platform. I'm guessing our jetpack gives us our own sense of gravity, which is weird because we're just floating around. I mean, these jets are just a visual flare. All we have is just anti-grav, effectively. More star bits. Lovely. Let's keep going. There's no collectibles up until this point. We need to reach a purple planet, which I don't think I can tilt the camera up high enough. Also, the Comet Observatory is all the way over there. And Planet Popstar? Like, where are we? Whoa, okay. Why did my game not like the hook shot for a second there? Also, it's having a bit of trouble trying to reach. And I'm not jumping, by the way. When you hook and then swing, Once the swing is complete, Hatkid automatically unlocks the hookshot to go for a momentum-based jump. That's not me. So make sure you're committed when you actually hook to continue going. Otherwise you're just going to be flung away. Yeah, this is a bit tense. Also, this intense light. Also, I've upped the bitrate a little, so it should come out a little bit clearer. Recording bitrate. Because I think that's what was causing me problems. What the heck happened there? Why did she go into a wall climb when I pressed jump on a flat surface? That's annoying, because now I've got to make my way all the way back up there. Thankfully, that's not too big of a problem, because 2 rocks is all we need to get back to the planet here. Bounce back up on here, onto these rocks. Got to do the swing again. I'm guessing the hookshot didn't get loaded, so that's why it spiked. Also, lunges are actually pretty fun with this kind of anti-grav situation. Okay, you were about to slip, and then you went into a wall climb / vault. I was just checking what weapon I had equipped. I thought I still had the Catch Master 9000 on. Evidently not. So I thought that's what caused the lag spike. Okay, I'm going to go for this one over here. If you're going to try and jump at any of these meteorites, land on the top. Like, dead center top. Don't try to be fancy about it. Right, from here, got to stretch out, a double jump. There we go, and we vaulted on the top. Don't worry, I'm not missing anything. And as I mentioned already, I'm not going to be having the graphic for what I normally do off-screen after doing the Chandroid, which is getting the mod Rift over mod timepiece to save time. I will actually need to do that in part 2, so we will have to do this again. But I will cut out going all the way through it again, because that could be a bit of a trip. Alright, so we've got this green planet here. And, well, I went into a wall climb there, so that kind of helped me out, actually. Just got to hit more panels, and we've got bullet bill launchers. That's a bit scary. No, Hatkid, please, no! Why? I should have landed on the ring and not get greedy, because I've got to get my way back over there again. Oh! I was almost there. Oh, come on. I was walking, and then I wasn't walking. I wasn't even 2 rocks away from start. Come on. Like, what in the actual heckles? And why is it now completely rotated so I can't climb up? Now you just slow me down, getting back to where I wanted to be. Climb up! Okay, I'm getting a little bit annoyed. Like, this is the first part of the level. I've got the rest of the damn level to do yet. And I've got to do it twice. Alright, can we actually climb up this time? No, we're just going to do the exact same thing as before. Why can't I get up here now? Do I really have to do that small little lunge cancel? That's kind of silly. What happened to the camera? Up the but no! Why? Alright, so when I vault onto this rock, can I actually jump? What the heck's happening? What the heck happened there? Okay, and now I'm broken. Why can I not get past... Get back to the green planet? I've fallen like 12 times. Oh, for feck's sake. Right, can you vault up on this rock, not bug out, and don't slip off after landing on top of the damn thing? This isn't even the bloody rock that... Oh, don't you even fricking dare. This isn't even the rock I normally have problems with. Right, I'm standing here now. Why did that not happen the last 3 times I landed on that damn rock? I thought I was going to get that problem later on, but apparently I'm having it now. So, yeah, this is the most common criticism with this level in particular. Like, for some reason, these asteroids are so janky, it's unreal, and you have to jump on so many. And this isn't even the worst of it. So, I'm just getting incredibly unlucky right now. And this is normally the one that I actually do have trouble with. Sometimes Hat Kid just won't vault up that bit to get on top. She'll just go in, not even like fail to wall climb, she'll just go into a slip. And just won't even attempt to climb, and then when you're in that animation, you're screwed. Right. Now we're finally back with a backswing jump boost. Which you want to commit to, and it automatically jumps you out of it, so don't worry. Head to the goddamn ring, so I don't somehow thread the needle between... Well, more like going over the rock, but you get what I mean. Threading the needle in between the rock and the ring would be even worse. Finally back. And yes, I was cutting all that out, because if you noticed, every time I voided out, I wasn't taking full damage. So that's not actually a problem. However, now I can get damage because of these bullet bills. So I want to kind of stretch out a jump to go back in this direction. So I can land on here. And now I can go back up and around again. But yeah, we can now get here, because these bullet bills effectively act as the rocket pyrotechnics. They're just reskinned. But that basically is bullet bills, so accurate, I guess. Just gotta get on all these question mark blocks that unfortunately do not have items for us. They're just the way to progress. Ugh. Come over here. Head to the top of the planet from here, which is the best thing to do. And then we just double jump, lunge, cancel. Get on top. Make our way round, counterclockwise. I'm not too sure if you can actually bounce off these bullet bills. I think something later on says that you can to restore your double jump, but I don't ever see that being useful. You get hit more than anything else. But we made that spring show up. Let's take that. Oh, spoons? It's with the spoons. I don't want to take full damage, so I'm going to do that. There we go. Let's bounce in this direction, and then head forward to the spoons! Ha-ha! They are, in fact, spoons.
There it is! The power star's directly above you! On the yellow planet! You just gotta get through all these rocks.
Yeah, considering how much trouble they just gave me just now, that does not sound pleasant. Guess what? That's the rest of the level. And that's where the criticisms come from. I told you it's real! Some flat earther. Yep, we're out of here. Screw that noise. What's this about? So where those heart ponds were, that's our new checkpoint. Until we get to at least halfway up here through this mess. To get to that yellow planet that's just off screen there, you can actually see its ring. That's where the star is. We gotta navigate all of this, which the music kind of signifies that it's gonna be a bit of an arduous climb. It's kind of accurate. But throughout these meteorites are springs that will launch you a decent way up, but there's no point taking them if they're below you a bit too far, because they'll just swing you back to the level you're at. So if you see one at level or just above you, head to it. Honestly, it will save you so much trouble. And maybe don't move as soon as you bounce off of one so you can get your bearings. There's another one over there which I would like to get to, so let's do it over here. So be prepared to slip, because when you do slip, you will somehow thread the needle and fall all the way down to void out. You won't hit an asteroid below you. Somehow these have been meticulously placed so that you won't land on a meteorite below, which is insane to me. Like, how do you do that when it's just a bunch of rocks that just are here? Also, how did I not stand on that? See, look at this! Okay. You proved me wrong. On recording, on the first fall in this section, when I never landed on anything on the amount of times I've gone through this. Yeah, because it was actually kind of awkward for me to figure out where the other two stickers were. I've combed this area completely. They were not around. Yes, I know, I have this, but even that didn't help. Well, it did technically help, but I thought they would have been, like, hidden or something. Right, so that is a cannon, not on an actual cloud. I think I've gone past the checkpoint. I mean, I'm not going to void out right now, but I've made it to the checkpoint. I should spawn at a particular empty cloud. I just don't see it. Maybe I haven't gone high enough yet. Yep, let's come over it. Kind of snaking around a bit. All I need to do is get height. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
You're almost there. Keep going.
Well, now we're at the halfway point. You see that cloud there? Even though I'm not at level with it, that's our new checkpoint that we unlocked because Toad just spoke up. Also, a music change. We're on the final stretch. Now, why do I get the feeling that that was going to be my only fall just to make fun of me because I just happened to actually take full damage? And not have problems for the rest of this climb. I'm getting that feeling. So all my troubles were at the start of the level, where... Admittedly, I did have during practice at the start, but this really does take the cake. You end up taking different routes because you just don't want to fall again. Well, you did fall. And then you got to take a different route anyway, because you're... Look, all of this is explorable. And all of this has... Not even a couple of star bits to grab, interestingly enough. I'm not gaining height this way. Let's head back in this direction. Woo! I've got bullet bills on the bottom. Let's jump toward the light. Hit the corner of the block, please. Or I could just finessingly dodge you, because that's now a word. It actually cycled around and tried to hit me again anyway. I'm going to go for this rock here. Nope, I'm not allowed to wall climb on that one. And I landed on another rock below. Okay, I'm being proven wrong. Seriously, throughout practice, multiple times, every time I fell from a slip like that, I would just void out. Just fall throughout the entire lot and not land on anything. And I'll just respawn. But apparently that's not happening now, and it's actually killing me. Because you don't normally get hit by the bullet bills in this level. But there's the yellow planet, but I don't want to be heading toward that yet. Cluster of rocks here. Keep climbing. There's a spring. I'd like that, please. Bounce with it. I want to head to that purple planet. So I need to veer off into this direction. And platform over this way. Because no matter where you climb up from, you want to obviously get to the planets, so you don't have to deal with this platforming. There we are, got on it. There we go. Well, I'm actually closer to the yellow planet, I guess. I am actually going to make a break for it. Ah! Nailed it! Right. I don't want to be here, but if you look carefully, there's a star stream here of solid energy that we can walk on that goes in between the purple and the star planet. So we want to head over this way to the highest part of the bend, because there is both a sticker and a rift token on top of this planet. Let's get the sticker first. Why am I moving? Why am I moving? Hack kid! This isn't the ice room of Luigi's Mansion! Where are you going? Smiley mushroom. No voice clip. Maybe I should have went for the checkpoint to get some health now that I think about it, because I've got one hit going into the next level. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be equipping the no fall badge, or the hover badge, excuse me. But yeah, they're all that we can get within the challenge road portion, because there's supposed to be something that happens when we grab the power star at the end of this level, but because we're in the challenge road, the act on grabbing the power star slash timepiece slash mod timepiece slash mod rift token sends us to the next level within the challenge road, and not the cutscene that's supposed to play, because it needs to be able to make you leave and progress. So that takes over, which is why I'm not going to have the graphic of the rift token slash mod timepiece graphic show up, because I'll need to go grab that, which is where we'll be starting the next video, because you don't need to see me platform through this again. I've just done it here, which is why I normally put the graphic on screen anyway, because I can do it off screen. Where do we go from here? Because there's no actual need to go around the entirety of the planet rim here, because it doesn't actually do anything, although you can do that. We need to find these hookshot targets to go to the top of the planet. And we get the nice star music. Unfortunately, it's corrupted by the statues, so it's a Tsar with slightly funky textures. But yeah, we will need to do this again, because as soon as I grab this outside of the challenge road, that would give me a cutscene that will pretty much allow us to continue on to the secret mission. So, no token here. We will do that in the next episode. Collectibles do count, because I've still got 2 stickers to find. So, oh, and by the way, it doesn't count as a purple or blue rift, so there's no spin anyway. Let's continue our space odyssey. That looks fire, but we're actually just walking on star energy. Look at this! And it sounds like water. I feel like that when we grabbed a timepiece energized power star, this was the rift within. And I like to have a little narrative when I go through challenge roads, so I think that's kind of cool. So every time we hit one of those orbs, notice it's no longer solid now. If I try to land on it, I mean, it's still solid in a sense, but it didn't change anything. But when we first hit it, it did. Alright, so the purple ones are hookshot targets. Blue are walkable. But notice if I turn the camera up this way, by the way, hot-ons, gimme. Those are just red hexagon platforms that don't have that outer coating. Notice that they're yellow on the inside. Like honeycombs. Now they're solid. So when you hit a red orb, red platforms become solid. When you hit a blue orb, blue platforms become solid. So if I hit this one, not only does it act like a bubble, by the way, anti-grav jumps once again, some more floatiness. We've then got to work with both of them. So if there's a purple one like this one just flips them. So you can see what we got to do here. Get some height and wall climb. So it kind of teaches you how it works. It's basically the flip switches from that were first introduced in Zelda Link to the Past. You whack the crystal and it swaps blue and red around. Got a wall climb here. There we go. Another checkpoint. We're making progress. Now, the 2 tokens in this level are actually en route, so you shouldn't be able to miss them. And they're also pretty easy to get to, so don't panic. You can keep bouncing on these if you're not too sure where you're going. But you can see that I need to wall climb, and I did not get the height or distance flat, unfortunately. Oh, the hookshot target. I did not see that. There we go. So then we can grab onto this. I don't think they're actually solid for you to actually touch. By the way, that wall is just a wall. It's not fire. It will not burn you. It just looks like it. So don't worry about that. Alright, we got a slide. Now, this is kind of a tricky one. Slide into the solid wall. You're going to hit an orb, remember? So it will make them intangible. Right, this isn't the one. It's further on. Haven't died yet, thankfully. Oh! Well, this is an actual water platform. So we want to be careful on landing on those, because we will have a time limit. But it does give us our jumps back, which is nice. And it also allows us to enter from underneath, like this. So use that to your advantage. They're basically platforms we can enter from underneath, but you can't stay on them for too long, because obviously you will, well, quote-unquote, drown, or run out of stamina to swim and tread water, I guess. And then you'll fall back through them. Or die. That could be a thing. Diddly diddly diddly. There we are. Climb the wall, and get stuck on the corner. I'm not too sure how that happened. I actually fell too far that it actually stopped me from staying in the platform. I fell through it. Alright, so we have a Rift token right above a red hexagon platform. Don't worry about that. We will just get it from above going through the normal path. Watch this. This is where we got to go. So we'll just hit this. Bounce with it. We'll climb into the water. We hop back up again. And from over here, you can see that we need to basically slide down and do this once again, but also swing and hookshot those panels. But we're above the token, so now you can just jump into it. Or you can miss it like I did. Thankfully, floaty jumps save our... Okay, you know what? I can just get back up like this. And then try again. I'm guessing that's what the red platform's actually for, so you can just do this. So you are supposed to come up from it from above. Just use the red platform underneath to get back up if you miss it. Which I guess is good as well, because I'm going to drop. Saves you going around again, I guess. So that's 1 of 2 in this level. And I am, even though we're going to have 8 going through, which means I'll have 2 tokens left over, I will spin the 6 that we can in this video, so I can, well, in part 2, so I can continue with the bonus episode of the event like I was originally planning to do. So let's just slide into this. Hookshot that. Hookshot that. Swing over here. Now what do we do? Got massive walls here, but we've also got a hookshot target there. Big orb over there. We'll bounce on that. And you can see that the token is above this wall on the approach. That's not a problem. So we'll do this. Swing up. Get to that platform over there. Which is where we're supposed to go. But nothing says that you can't just climb on top of the wall here. Double, jump, lunge into the token here. And that's the only 2 tokens in this level, and they're basically right next to each other in the mid part of the level, and the end is just over there in the corner. Yeah, the first level was definitely the showcase of this mod in terms of difficulty. This level's more like a puzzle, a platforming puzzle, which is obviously really good. Very visually impressive, I will admit. I do like how this level looks. I'm just going to keep bouncing here for a second. So then I can do this, jump into the water layer. So we're up here. And we've got to be a little bit quick because we have to swim. Get over here. I thought I was going to overshoot that for a second. I shouldn't have done that. It's fine though. Whatever we hit last, we just land on it. And there we are. We've made it through this rift. Lovely stuff. Yep, that did give me a spin for going for the token. And I got some purple for a purple level. Pure violet. I'll take that. Because as I said already, both this and the previous level, I will be getting the tokens off before I do part 2. So I can at least have those out of the way. So I can put the graphics in. Now, we're on HackKid's ship again, but it is the low poly version that you normally see in the distance, because you can tell by the dome here, it's not see-through. I knew something was calling me. Developer advice. As soon as you land on the wooden part of a spring, hold the control stick or arrow keys in the same direction the spring is facing to reach further distances. This will be very important if you want to progress this mod, especially due to the low gravity environment and when carrying a fruit. It's almost like being put at the beginning of the challenge road, giving us this space helmet costume. Actually makes sense for the entire thing. I like that. I like that a lot. Don't worry about dropping the Dweller fruit to the bottomless void. It will simply respawn to its original position when it happens, and I made sure of it. By that, if you're in a free fall, HackKid will randomly let go of the Dweller bomb in order for it to teleport back to where it spawned from. If this is your first time playing this map and you don't read this, how dare you? When I first read that, I found that hilarious, because if you don't read it, you're not going to see that, so... But yeah, it was kind of crying out to us, and I did almost forgot to talk about that. But yeah, this is the low poly model, and hello there. Or the low level of detail model in the distance.
Child is predictable.
I've been had! Also, 8-ball reference over there. Did you see that in the engine? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So we've got 2 engines that are not even running. 1 engine that's on fire. And we've got this one as well. Why is there a giant 8-ball here? It's almost like it's a reference to a previous mod. Anyways, we'll deal with that later. Or I already have dealt with that. before, but you get what I mean. Let's pick this up. Nice jump. Nailed that. So, this is how it works. Now, before I even jump onto this, we just got tossed by the Mafia. That was a cutscene / event. We didn't take void out damage. But, if I just walk onto this and don't hold a direction, you can see what they mean by hold the direction that it springs you into. And I do take void out damage. So, the Mafia was not only a dupe in terms of saying that you're predictable by kicking the Mafia off, so he gets you instead, but it also tricks you in thinking that there's no void out damage when there actually is. So, bravo Mafia, well played. I'll just skip you, I guess. I believe that's what it meant by a new type of enemy. These are UFOs that can shoot you instead of just crushing you from above, basically being reskinned raccoons, which is probably why they said they hate raccoons. Also, we can see where we need to go here, over there. It's kind of already displayed without needing to use the kid's hat. But if I can just get through here, I won't have to keep on doing this bit over and over, because that's going to be our checkpoint for a good stretch. Right, let's see how these actually act. Yeah, so they don't act like actual raccoons, like they just flatten you. They actually shoot electrical currents at you. Now, I'm pretty sure you could do a couple of skips here with the momentum. Like, if I hit that spring over there well, I could have probably just come straight over here and skipped a spring. But there are, as far as I'm aware, there's no death wishes for these, so I didn't see anything in the descriptions. And frankly, I don't want to check the map. Alright, so jumping with these springs with the cherry is a little bit annoying, considering I think this level's a lot more floatier than normal, which is probably what makes these springs work the way they do. But when I try to jump and touch the top part and then hold in the direction, I keep ending up doing this. Well, I'm doing it on purpose right now, but I'm trying to prepare and it's not letting me. Right. Soon as you hit, that's when you want to tap the direction that you need to go in, because if you don't, you will not have enough speed. That's to return back to get the Dweller fruit if you forgot it. Thankfully, we don't need to do it while the bomb is alight with the power of the Dwellers. They put it right next to the ice cube, so we just got to get the fruit. As I said, no collectibles in this level, so we just go. But it gets progressively more difficult. I believe this is the semi-final segment. It's also a 2-stage segment. That one's trapped, so that must be like a checkpoint. Let's make our way through backwards this way. This don't look pleasant. Thankfully, with double jumping, we can just go around it. In fact, with the floatiness, I'm going to try and make this jump. Ha-ha! Look at me! Skipping it all that we're going to have to do anyway. Lovely. Right, let's do this proper. Wait for the flames, so we don't burn our tush, and with the extra floatiness, that could actually make it more annoying to land and do our jumps properly, but we can also launch ourselves with the extra height that we get from a bird tush. So, take that as you will. Here we're going to have to nail a single jump. Wait for the fire in the middle to stop blowing, and jump and follow the ponds. They give you the right arc. Jump this. I'm just going to jump over this to the next pond, and jump again. There we go. Light you up, blow this up, and now we have a checkpoint at our starting point, which is very nice. So that part of the level's now done. Time to make it through these cannons. Alright, there we are. I'm kind of jumping a bit too often. Don't need to, but now we're going to have to go fast. That was unfortunate, but we do have a decent amount of time, and I can just... Why did you toss it in that direction, Hat Kid? I was facing forward. Okay, that's not fair. I would have had that if it didn't veer off to the side. Oh well, at least I can get another health bomb for making up for that damage. Let's try it again. And unlike the first level, can't really cut things out because, well, I can die here through both Void Out and the cannons, so, you know. Whoa, I landed on it! I think that messed with my height. There we go, that time it flew straight. Don't know why I didn't do that last time. Right, final segment. Well, I actually climbed out of there somehow. I wasn't even holding a direction. Kaplowy! I missed my Kaplowy because of that. Spoons again? Spoon free. I don't know what that means. Well, hang on a minute. There's, is that just a reflection of them? Yeah, it's just a reflection. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Probably an in-joke that I'm not familiar with. I'm just here for me trophy and some good platforming. Speaking of good platforming, we gotta go fast. If you need a bit of extra time, time stop is a good idea. But here you're gonna have to actually toss the cherry and pick it back up, because you will not make that jump otherwise. But I believe that's the only jump we need to do that for. Just jump basically as soon as you land on these. At the very edge if possible. Do not take the ice panel, that will just take you backwards. Well, that is exactly what I did not want to do. There we go. Now we've got to keep the chain going. Do not hit the urchins, whatever you do. Ugh, this is scary. Ugh. I could have skipped all them if I wanted to, but I'm just playing it safe. Yeah, let's just jump and follow the ponds down, because that seems like the safe thing to do. Yep, that would have been a drop. I mean, it goes slow enough. You could have rode it down like a lift, I guess. But just in case. Dweller. Ignite! Kaplowy! That was a Kaplowy I could time myself with. Ice panel again takes us backwards. Don't need that. We have made it to this crashed UFO. Give me your loot. I need some my spaceship has been damaged and I'm looking for replacement parts. Here we are, the crashed UFO. Time to scavenge parts to repair my ship's exhaust. Well, that takes care of it. Really convenient that it literally took me a second to fix it. Though I need to wait for it to fully recover. Now to deal with that 8-ball. The 8-ball had the timepiece! Okay, never mind. It fixed by itself. Lamau. Lamau. And yeah, we're back at the beginning of the level, but there was no collectibles. That was the challenge road. I got to get those tokens, but that is this challenge road done. But not quite. And that'll do for now. I'll see you in part 2 for where we go through Space Rock Galaxy outside of the challenge road to get the mod drift token that I didn't add the graphic for in this video, because a cutscene starts immediately afterwards, of which will unlock the rest of the level. Because there's more than what we've seen. There's more that meets the eye. So with that, I'll see you guys then.